Hello guys, so today in class we're going to be doing the copper chloride lab. How that works is we're going to be using this chemical called copper chloride. We're going to be using some aluminum foil, some water, but before we do that, I want to explain the difference between physical changes and chemical changes. A physical change is a change that happens to a material, but that material still is the same thing. It chemically hasn't changed. So a physical change would be like if it got like crumpled, or if it physically looks different, but it's still the same thing. So this paper, for example, right? It's still paper, even if I crumple it up, okay? Physically it looks different, but it's still a sheet of paper, okay? If I rip it, it's still a sheet of paper. It's just ripped now. So physically it looks different, but it's still the same. A chemical change is when chemically what makes up a material, it changes, it's different. So a chemical change, typically if fire is involved, that's a chemical change. If I were to light this paper on fire, it would chemically change into ash, chemically change into smoke. It wouldn't be there anymore, right? It wouldn't be a sheet of paper. Chemical changes usually involve a color change. If there's heat involved, if you feel heat or if you hear like fizzing, that's going to be a chemical change, okay? So now that we got that out of the way, the difference between a physical change and a chemical change, we're going to get started with the lab. How it works is I want somebody to come up, if you're in school, will come up and I will give you some copper chloride in a beaker, okay? So I'll take some copper chloride and I'll put it in the bottom of the beaker. All right. I want you to observe what it kind of looks like. It's a greenish, bluish color. Okay. It's kind of how it looks. I'll come a little closer for you guys so you can see it. This is kind of what it looks like a greenish, bluish color. Okay. So once you've observed kind of what it looks like, I want you guys to add the water. So this is 100 milliliters of water. You will add it to your solution, okay? And then I want you to observe kind of how it looks like now, all right? So the water changed slightly, all right? It looks a little kind of greenish, but we can still see it sitting there at the bottom. Next, you're going to take the glass stirring rod, and you're going to mix it up. You're going to stir it up, and notice how a color change happens. So we said earlier, color changes typically are chemical changes. So a chemical change just occurred. And if we look at our solution, okay, there is no more copper chloride. All right, so the color changed. Now we have a nice blue looking color, and there's no more copper chloride there on the bottom. Okay, so we had a chemical change happen. Now what I want us to do, we are going to take some aluminum foil. All right, I'll give you a sheet about this size. I want you to crumple it up, okay? And you'll tell me what type of change this crumpling is to the aluminum foil, okay? And once you've crumpled it, you're going to drop it into the copper chloride. You're going to kind of poke it down, mix it around, and see how it changes. So at first, you may not see a lot, okay? It may kind of look like nothing's going on. However, after a while, you will see a change, okay? So there it is. You notice that it looks like the outside of the aluminum is starting to turn a different color. It's starting to kind of flake off. I'm trying to submerge it. And you can see that it's starting to kind of look brownish at some spots. The color is changing. all this debris down at the bottom. You can see it's fizzing. I don't know if you can hear it online, but it's fizzing a little bit. Now you could really start to see all the brown. You kind of see all the bubbles fizzing off of it. You see that? And you see it's really is starting to change shape, change color. Okay, so you'll kind of tell me what type of change is going on. All right? So once you've done the lab, there are some questions on the back. There's 6 questions for you to answer. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it.